Now students, moving forward with our topics. In the earlier classes we had started our chapter coordination compounds, in which we had studied about the isomerism in the coordination compounds and also their nomenclature. Now moving forward, I'm going to start with the valence bond theory of the coordination compounds. Okay, so students, in this video we are going to study about the valence bond theory. Basically, Werner was the first to describe the bonding features in the coordination compounds, but this theory could not answer the basic questions like why only certain elements possess the remarkable property of forming coordination compound, that or why the bonds in the coordination compounds have directional properties, why the coordination compounds have the characteristic magnetic and the optical properties. So these things were explained on the basis of the few theories, which were valence bond theory, crystal field theory, ligand field theory, and molecular orbital theory. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to study about the valence bond theory and the crystal field theory. So first of all, I am starting with the valence bond theory. Okay, so students, according to this theory, the metal atom or ion under the influence of ligand can use its n minus 1 d ns np or ns np nd orbitals for hybridization to yield these are the orbitals basically used by the coordination compounds for the hybridization to yield a set of equivalent orbitals of definite geometry, such as the octahedral geometry or the tetrahedral, square planar, and there are many other geometries also. So these hybridized orbitals are allowed to overlap with the ligand orbitals that can donate electron pairs for bonding. Okay, so let's consider this table of your book. Students, in this table you are seeing that here the first column is of coordination number, the second is of the type of hybridization, and this is the third one is the distribution of the hybrid orbital in space, means that what will be the shape in that case. Okay, so students, I would like to remind you here that you have studied about these things in class 11th also, about the hybridization and the shape of the orbitals. So when the coordination number is 4, coordination number means when the number of atoms to which central atom is added. Okay, so it is central metal atom is attached. Okay, it is known as the coordination number. So when the coordination number will be 4, then the type of hybridization in that case will be sp3 and the geometry will be tetrahedral. And also when the coordination number will be 4, then in that case the type of hybridization will be dsp2 and the geometry will be square planar. Then if the coordination number is 5, then in that case the type of hybridization will be sp3d and it will be a trigonal bipyramidal geometry. And if the coordination number is 6, then the type of hybridization will be sp3d2 and the geometry will be octahedral. And also when the coordination number is 6, there arises two cases. It could be sp3d2 hybridization or d2 sp3 hybridization. Okay, so in both the cases the geometry will be octahedral geometry. Okay, so let's discuss it through an example. Students, here we are taking the example of the coordination compound of cobalt with ammonia. Here as you can see that the cobalt is attached to 6 molecules of NH3. So in this case the coordination number for cobalt is 6. Okay, so when we will draw the this orbital diagram of cobalt, then in that case we will see that cobalt 3 positive ion will have the following orbital diagram. In this case, the 3D orbital, in the first 3D orbital there will be paired electrons, and in the others there will be unpaired electrons. Okay, so and the 4s in this case, and the 4p orbital will remain empty. Okay, and in this case the hybridization is basically D2sp3 hybridization. Okay, so D2sp3 hybridization will be attained like this. In this case, here this is your p orbital. As you can see that there are 3 p orbitals here, and these will combine and form D3sp3 hybridization. Sorry. In this case there will be this D3sp3 hybridization. Okay, D3sp3, as we are seeing here, that there are 3 orbitals from d orbital, 1s, and 3 p orbitals. Okay, so these will combine and form D3sp3 hybrid orbital. Okay, and in this case now we will see the formation of the molecule, this coordination compound. Okay, so in this case the empty orbitals, empty hybrid orbital which are formed in the above case will pair up or will be filled by the 6 ammonium molecule, this dsp3 hybrid orbital. Okay, so in this case the 6 pairs of the electrons from the 6 ammonia molecules will fill up this hybrid orbital. Okay, so this is basically filled by the 6 pairs of electrons from 6 NH3, that is ammonia molecules. Okay, so students, in this is basically a diamagnetic complex, as the cobalt ion is in +3 oxidation state, and here due to the presence of the +3 oxidation state and has the electronic configuration of 3d6, and the hybridization scheme as shown here. So there are 6 pairs of electrons, one from each of the ammonia molecule occupy the 6 hybrid orbital. So thus the complex has an octahedral geometry and is diamagnetic because there is absence of the unpaired electron. If there will be presence of unpaired electron, then in that case it will be paramagnetic in nature. So there is absence of unpaired electron, so that is why it is a diamagnetic compound. And in the formation of this complex, since the inner d orbitals, that is the 3d orbital, is used for the hybridization of the complex, so it is also called a low spin or spin paired complex. Okay, so we also call it as low spin or spin paired complex. Okay students, so this is also known as a low spin or a spin paired complex. So this is a diamagnetic compound. Why? Because it is not having any unpaired electron. Okay, so when there is absence of the unpaired electron, then the compound is diamagnetic in nature.